All right, welcome back, everyone. This is episode number 34, and today is a very special episode because we're going to be talking about a very important foundation in the Greater Toronto area. And I've got returning guests on the show, Brother Abbas Jafri, who's the head of donor relations, and Mohammad Zahid, who's a community engagement officer at the Zahra Trust Foundation. So why don't you guys give us a brief rundown of the roles you guys play at the organization, and we'll talk about the trust in more detail later on.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead, man.
All right. So my role is a community engagement officer. What I try to do is reach out to different communities to present our work. I've also tried to do work with some of the youth groups that are out there, and also doing a lot of administrative work in the back end to make sure we're organized and kept up to date.
Head of donor relations. I've been at the organization just for about almost 2 months, and yeah, I'm a baby exactly. But yeah, I'm pretty much the first point of contact for all donors, regardless of what size, if they want to work on any projects, and making sure that their donation gets to where it needs to go. I'm, again, like I said, the first point of contact for all donors all across Canada. So pretty much if there's any projects that need to happen, or if anybody wants to donate a sum of money, and if they have any ideas, I'll kind of be the first point of contact for them. Then I rely on Zahid and the rest of the team for a lot of support.
Awesome. So, what is the Zahra Trust Foundation exactly? What are some of the missions and the goals that you guys are trying to achieve?
Yeah, so the organization started in approximately 2009. Their head office is in the UK, and opened an office here in Canada about 3 years ago. And Zahra Trust is a registered charity. It's a registered charity in Canada, and we are a humanitarian effort. At the end of the day, that's what we do. We try to help those who are in need, like they say, the miskin, and we try to make sure that any sort of support that they need, whether it's in food aid, water aid, shelter, any sort of, if they need some sort of program to any source of income or anything like that, we try to help out as much as we can. We have teams on the ground in different countries in the world, and our response effort, alhamdulillah, has been very good. Even when it comes to emergency appeals.
Yeah.
For example, a couple of months ago, there was a bomb blast in Parachinar, Pakistan. Our team, alhamdulillah, was very quick to respond on the ground and help out with all the mu'mineen and the believers that they need their assistance over there. So, that's emergency appeals, of course, is always there. And we receive a lot of support from everybody when it comes to that. But every day we have housing projects, water wells, water aid, food. As I said, total humanitarian effort.
Nice. Yeah, I think we use this platform to talk a lot about real estate business, but there's some things that are just beyond business in general, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I think this is so important because, I always quote your brother, the late great Asad Bhai, that he would always tell us that, the purpose of this world is to serve others at the end of the day, right? So we do our lives, whatever we can to serve others at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are some of the initiatives you guys are planning so far this year or in the past that you can talk about right now?
Generally, we've done a few different things, right? One of our things has always been water aid. So we've been building a lot of water wells in Pakistan itself. In Ramadan, we're actually looking to do a sustainable project for solar panel water wells, which will make it a lot easier in terms of the general population to gain the water, and also it will use less energy there as well. We do a lot of food aid, to our beneficiaries, providing them with monthly food packages. At Ramadan, again, we'll be doing the same thing along with iftar meals, especially for those that can't even afford any general iftar to break their fast and stuff with. We do a lot of housing projects. So, when the Pakistan floods happened, we've been building houses there. We're building, and that effort is still ongoing. We're building houses in Afghanistan and Yemen as well.
Iraq,
And Iraq as well. Especially, we just had a campaign for helping to build houses for widows, where they have the land, but they don't have the money to actually build the houses. That might have been just an inheritance that they got for the land. So we want to help those people out as well. And we're trying to do projects as well in Ramadan where not only are we just helping out the beneficiaries, but also allowing them to become self-sufficient so they don't have to always rely on charity.
Right.
So one of the things we're introducing this Ramadan is what's called the the food garden, so people can grow their own crops, feed themselves that way, but also sell that food. We also have artisanal handcrafts, where basically we want to train widows to create some handcrafts, which they can sell and make their own income.
Nice.
Along with that, like Brother Abbas mentioned, we do a lot of emergency aid. So we have a few different schools as well that we support for orphans and vulnerable children, to make sure that they're getting the education and that they're not just left as is. That's one of the important things that's always been there for us.
Yeah.
Even our mokib that people use during Muharram and Safar. During those 2 months, we serve the zawar to make sure they're comfortable, providing them food, water, massages, whatever they need. And then outside of that, we use that to support the widows and orphans and vulnerable children and vulnerable families as well. And it's also used as our site for emergency aid. So we have these sort of different projects that are kind of ongoing, but also building from there too.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like emergency aid is kind of one of the main pillars of the organization and the trust. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whenever just something happens, like the response is quite swift, as I mentioned. Like, for example, last year there was an earthquake that happened,
right?
And in Turkey, and we were able to kind of assist with that. And if we don't directly, then we try to get some sort of aid in that respect. But we were able to really help out with those kind of effects, like I mentioned, Parachanar. So emergency appeals is very key. We just finished our winter aid appeal for Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And of course, like Brother Zahid mentioned, Ramadan's coming up, which is our busiest month of the year. And we're going to be focusing on Yemen and Afghanistan. There, we could talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, just in regards to your question about emergency appeals, we take that quite seriously, because the thing is with the Zahra Trust is we always like to do a needs assessment. Like, for example, if somebody comes up with us with a project or they want to do something, we always do a needs assessment to see where it's needed most. And emergency appeals is something that's like automatic when it comes to response. I mean, of course, we always see the reaction first. We always see the needs on the ground first, and then we respond. But when something like that catastrophic happens, we're pretty quick in regards to.
Yeah, especially like in Afghanistan, we had the 3 earthquakes that happened in such a short time frame. I believe like October or November.
Yeah.
We were one of the first teams on the ground to make sure we're providing the support and aid that's needed there.
Yeah.
And those efforts are definitely like going to continue on until we can help those people out. Even like the refugees that were being deported from Pakistan.
Right.
Once they're in Afghanistan, we're providing aid, and we're looking to do a long-term solution for them as well.
Right.
To make sure that they have the support that they need, so they can, build their own lives and live a life of dignity and whatnot.
It's always nice to know that there's a team out there that is willing to go when it comes to emergencies, because you can't plan for emergencies, right? So other charities, like, God bless everyone, but emergency is something where like it can happen any day, any time,
right?
And you guys are quick to act on that.
Yeah, and what's good is, alhamdulillah, we're a transparent organization. Number one, I mean, just based on compliance, and we have to be. But that's even if we didn't have to be, we still would be, because everybody deserves to know where their money is going.
Definitely,
right? And we always prove that, and that's why no pun intended, but we've tried to gain that trust. From the donors and from those who give, because look, it's like your work is being used, like the work is being done from the money that you've donated. Right. And alhamdulillah, we have our own teams on the ground, right? Which is really good. So the communication is very quick. So we try to make sure the funds are transferred very, very quickly, and make sure it's implemented quickly as well.
Yeah, no, that's really important. I had a chance to go through the website as well, and I mean, it's really professional, really organized, and it tells you where the money is going and what percentage, and so that transparency, I think, is what a lot of people are looking for. And that's why we have you guys on, because I think that's one of the key things in any charity, right? People kind of know where the money is going and what projects, initiatives are going towards. So that's really good. What are some ways that the average person can kind of help out or contribute? Like, where can they find you guys? How can they donate to the cause? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So there's a few different ways. I'll break that off into a couple of segments maybe. So in terms of how you can help out, so the first way is, aside from monetary donations, there's always the need for volunteers. When we go to different mosques, we need help with tabling. and just even getting to the communities and building the relationships and stuff there. That's always important that we have enough volunteers. Even outside of the tabling, we have other events that go on throughout the year. Along with that, we have what's called the like a lot of other charities and stuff, the workplace giving. So you can look into your workplace and see how they can match the donations and stuff as well. Whether it's through Benevity, whether it's through the United Way, whatever platform the company uses, that's an important way of providing funds to the Zahra Trust as well. Yeah. In terms of how you can make donations, I mean, you can do it through credit card. That's probably the easiest way. Yeah. When you go on the website, you enter your information, etc. If people are hesitant with that, we also have the option of e-transfers. Our address is account@zahratrust.ca. And in that is basically, you just tell us where you want the funds and stuff to go to. Yeah. And again, like any donations that you make will be tax deductible, so we'll send you out an income tax receipt as well. We also want to get people to sign up for recurring donations. That's always important because that helps us to kind of plan out for future months, right? We can see like, hey, we have this many people signed up with this amount. So it'll definitely help us out in that sense as well for recurring donations.
Yeah, and I mean, we've tried to introduce that as well during Ramadan. Like we send an email every Friday out to our those who subscribe to our email newsletter. And at the bottom, we've created like now a special page where people can donate recurring, and because that just helps a lot. It helps with knowing how much is coming in every month, budget, all that stuff. And like Zahid said, you get a tax receipt right away. Like if you do it on the website. Zahra Trust, www.zahratrust.ca, you get a tax receipt like right away. And that's to your email, that's used for tax receipt purposes. E-transfer, we ask for you to send the details, and then we will send you a tax receipt out later on about that. We try to do like a 6 to 8 week turnaround for that. But yeah, it's very clear. And then of course, there's checks. There's we do accept cash. I mean, we would prefer the other methods, cash. But I know, like for example, if somebody just like we go tabling, for example, or if we're like at an event, we'll have a sadaqah box there, and people like to just drop $5, $10, $20. Of course, we're not gonna. Of course, that's. I mean, the more I like for me. It's about how much you can afford. Yeah. Whether you give $1 or $1 million, honestly, like in my viewpoint, that's all equal because it's coming from here. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, the intention, right? And then the rest is in Allah's hands. So we do what we can. But there's many ways to donate. Alhamdulillah.
And I think with Ramzan around the corner, this is great timing, right? Because it's the month of giving.
Charity is always huge in Ramadan.
There's a hadith as well, that says that, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it wards off 70 calamities if you give during the month of Ramadan. Even there's another hadith as well in general for charity where before you're giving, God is basically taking it in his hands and putting it before he gives it to you. So, it's like, it's a beautiful transaction that you're making. And at the end of the day, you also know that you're supporting people that require the help and stuff there. Inshallah. So you're hitting like so many goals all at once.
Exactly. Like I'm learning a lot just by listening to you guys, and I mean, like I said, Ramadan around the corner. It's a great time to give and give to charity, and I mean, we're blessed to be where we are with we have the facilities and what we need here, but there's so many other guys and girls around the world that don't have the basic necessities, right?
And I think like for example, like us now being here first generation, our parents they migrated here, they struggled and they were trying to find ways of income to make sure that we have a good life and good education. Now, alhamdulillah, we're professionals. There's a lot of professionals now in our community who are doing very well, right? So, now, and because like Brother Mohammad Zahid said, in regards to giving for Ramadan, it's like, you're building your akhirat, right? And now you have the means, mashallah, you've done the work. And now you're in a position to help those who need it, right? And that's what we're here for. I feel like we're here representing those orphans and those widows and those needy here to help them out. And that's a blessing, alhamdulillah, right? So, now that we're in a position, a lot of people are professionals and they've done well. They have their businesses. They're in different trades, etc. Now is the time to give is in the month of Ramadan. So, we hope that, if anybody can hear us, open your hearts. I don't say open wallets. I say open hearts, because when the heart's open, the wallet's open. You know what I mean? Open your hearts, because your heart's open bigger than anything. And then when your hearts are open, then it helps. Just again, like literally, like just think about those people there. We know what's going on in the world. We know what's going on in Yemen, in Afghanistan, and alhamdulillah, we're blessed to be part of this organization. I think Mohammad Zahid, you'd agree, is like for example, in Afghanistan, I'll tell you, like we know the situation in Afghanistan, who runs Afghanistan. Yeah. And for us to have a presence there, a school there, to help our own people there is amazing. Like our status is quite high in Afghanistan, right? Like so, the effort is there, and Allah is with you. Everyone's du'as are there with you, and the more you strive, the more you'll see, and the more you can help out. And so when you're building a home for somebody else, in turn, Allah is so merciful, He helps you build a home in Akhirat. So
that's what it comes down to.
That's I mean, of course, I mean, that's His mercy. If your intention is clean, Allah will help you all the way.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to tie it to real estate somehow. So, I mean, we get so caught up in building homes in this world. Yeah. And that's good. I mean, you got to have a balance. Yeah. But I think what you guys are doing is the ultimate home, right, in the afterlife. And that's, I think, what we forget and kind of also have to go back and remind ourselves that there's something bigger waiting for us. Right. And one of the best ways to do it is to give back to charity. Yeah. Whether it's $1 or $1 million, it doesn't matter. Like from the heart is what matters, right? And build your home, where you're going to be for eternity.
Like I went to a tabling session the other day, and this kid just came up and he just dropped $5. Wow. And I'm like, that, like, you can't put a price on that. He's putting $5, sure, monetarily, physically, all that stuff. You see a $5 bill in there. Yeah. But it's like, what impact does that really have? That's absolutely something that can't be measured. Yeah. And that is, at the end of the day, is why we wake up in the morning and we try to help out as many people for that reason. Yeah. Right? So,
and that's really good. I mean, it brings me back to my own experience when I was growing up as a kid. Like, you see kids giving to charity.
That's great.
And I think our parents kind of instilled that in us when we were young. We had the sadaqah box at the door. Yeah. And even now, like when I left the house this morning, Mom was like, did you put sadaqah, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yes, I did. But it's just in your head now, right? So to instill that in the future generation, I mean, that's so important, right?
It's so important. It's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Just last couple of questions for you guys. I guess looking into the future, what is kind of the Zahra Trust Foundation's goals and aspirations going forward in the next 5-10 years? I don't know if you can talk about that, but what's that looking like?
I mean, to be honest, like we're just looking to grow. Like I said, we're here. We're for about almost 4 years now. Yeah. Big plans, and we always try to have as much exposure as much as possible. So I mean, the goals and stuff like that. I mean, that's done by above us. Like somebody else makes those kind of decisions. But we always try to help out as many mu'mineen as we can. That's our goal. Yeah. So our kind of efforts and our exposure to other countries is always there. Like we like the countries that we help, and if you go to our website, you'll see where it is. We don't want to limit to that. Yeah. Like we try to extend a helping hand to everybody. Yeah. We're humanitarian, like I said, right? So you never want to limit yourself. Right. Now, what that looks like right now, to be honest, I don't know right now. I don't have a concrete answer right now, but I know that's always the mission here at Zahra Trust, is to just help that grow to other countries around the world, because we don't know how many. Like for example, like who would have thought that the Shias in Yemen would need help? You know what I mean? Especially, and it's just so good timing because of what's happening right now in Yemen. Right. Shias in Afghanistan, right? I mean, the Shias in Iraq, and mashallah, there's so much help there. But like these countries, like Pakistan and stuff like that, who would have thought that we would be able to have a presence there? Yeah, absolutely. So if that's possible, I think anything's possible. Inshallah, really, and that's what we should always drive forward. I mean, and again, like we say Ramadan, but we can't strive that enough, right? That's why we have 2 TV appeals coming up, right? On March 24th. Right, March the 24th at 4 to 6 p.m. and March 31st at 3 to 5 p.m. Okay. Both will be on Heather TV. Okay. We do urge everyone to call in. More details will come to follow as Ramadan begins. But if you are available, please do call in and help us with that. And of course, our campaigns will be throughout the month.
Right.
We don't sleep that much in Ramadan. Ramadan is very busy for us, and we love it. So just as much as we can, if you can help out.
And just to build from what Brother Abbas said, so that we've mentioned like we're starting off sustainable projects, so we want to definitely continue that as well, right? And along with that, just try to help people become more self-sufficient.
Right.
That's key. That's key. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, I think a lot of people don't want to rely on charity unless they actually
but they need
have
a boost to start. Yeah.
So we want to try to get them off their feet a bit and kind of work towards that itself. Yeah. And then along with that, just making sure we provide the aid that wherever it's needed, right? Like, our whole goal is the pleasure of the Ahlul Bayt and service in the name of Bibi Fatima.
Yeah.
And we want to definitely continue those efforts. So I think that's what our general...
Yeah, we try to make it easy too for people. Like, for example, one food package for Yemen is $125. Right. Like, what is that? That you're feeding how many people? Yeah. A whole family just for $125. Like, we know how much groceries cost here.
We go out for dinner and it's
you know what I mean? Like, for two people now these days, it's like, you have... And they don't even require steak. They don't require a burger. Just a simple meal, just to fill their stomach so they have enough energy to live for the rest of the day. Yeah. And what is $125 at the end of the day? It's nothing. It's nothing. So, we try to make it simple, alhamdulillah, and that's the work of those who have really started this organization. May Allah bless them and reward them for their efforts and all the donors. And, because at the end of the day, like, look, the Imam's not here, right? Imam Zaman is not here. And we try to be a member of his army while he's not here. Right. And we're just trying our best without him because, they say without the Imam being here, we're all orphans. Right. And so when, when your father's not here, you try to figure things out on your own. Yeah. Of course, he's as a guide, all that, of course. But, and I hope people understand what I mean by what I'm trying to say when it comes to a guide and a father and orphan, like, without him here. And that's why we rely on the ulama with their guidance and their help. So, we're just trying to do our best here to help out as much as we can with all the information that we know, with ahadith, Quranic ayat, things like that. And then we try to build a better future for everyone.
One other thing actually as well that I remembered for our Ramadan projects, we were talking about, like how certain things we see here, we don't realize like the challenges that people face in different countries. One thing we're introducing this year is Eid haircuts.
Oh, nice.
For like the vulnerable children and vulnerable people, right? Like for us, it's easy. We'll go to our barber, get our haircuts, be okay for Eid. We're like, over there, we don't realize that even something like a haircut is not so easy to get or easy to afford.
I take it for granted, man.
Exactly. So that's something that we want to introduce this year, so that way people will be like willing to and be more happy to participate in the festivities.
It's great.
Without worrying about their appearance and stuff in that sense.
Yeah, it's fantastic. No, man, may Allah bless you guys for what you're doing and the rest of your team.
Inshallah.
And I know Mohammad, Zahid, and Abbas Jafri for a very long time. So
childhood basketball friends,
rivals and friends.
Rivals, man.
But I couldn't have asked for anyone better than to come on here and do this. And these guys are humble, honest, genuine, and it reflects the organization. So, mashallah for you guys.
No, thank
really
you.
glad to see what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the time and for having us, man. I really, really appreciate it.
So before we end off, just some lighthearted questions about Ramzan in
Let's
general.
Do it.
So
Let's do it.
Wanted to ask you guys, Ramzan around the corner, like what are some of the things that you look forward to in Ramzan? Activities or food or whatever it is, like.
Go ahead. You want to answer? Okay. I mean, I think the general answer is iftar, of course. It's just, what? I love around just like that, that time, like an hour and a half or 2 hours before iftar, where people are preparing and stuff. There's a certain livelihood about that, and you're preparing to get together as a family and have iftar, or go to the mosque and come together, reciting dua iftitah, and having iftar together, praying salat together. Just that sense of community I love within Ramadan, and we're all fasting, so we're all together. We all have a purpose together. We're all united together. That's what I really love about Ramadan, that specific thing. Though that 1 or 2 hours before iftar, and then of course iftar time itself that we all love.
How about you?
For me, the one thing I'm not looking forward to is the lack of sleep. Every year I try to plan it out, but it
never happens.
Never happens. But I think one thing I usually look forward to is just going out to different iftars with friends and family and stuff. Like building on those traditions that have happened over the years, right? Like for me, like building with my mom and my sisters and stuff, meeting together. Even with some of our friends, we tend to go out sometimes at night.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago before I got married and stuff, I used to go out with some of my friends to Denny's and we used to have like a Sari night. And so,
Yeah.
now we're all too old.
I don't know about that anymore, man. Don't know about that anymore. No, but Ramadan's going to be different because now it's like we have different purposes now, right? With the charity and stuff.
Yeah, you guys will be busy.
And that's a different type of ibadat. Right? That's a different type of worship.
Definitely.
Alhamdulillah. We have your du'as, you have your salat and your amal that you do. And on top of that, we do this. So, it's like a 24/7 type of thing when it comes to worship. So we're blessed.
No, mashallah. No, that's
what about you, man? What do you have? What's your favorite thing about iftar?
Man, I'm a foodie, bro. So.
I know you are.
Foodie. So Ramzan, alhamdulillah, it's a blessing. But for me, like I would say my iftar schedule kind of relies a lot upon work as well, because my work is in the evenings usually. But obviously in Ramzan you kind of scale back a little bit. But yeah, that, like you said, that hour or 2 hours before Ramzan, if I didn't get a quick nap in,
the nap
really
is
nice.
Nap is key.
It's a key factor.
Oh my god.
But then I'll break my fast with a date or something, and then I'll pray Maghrib. I can't do Maghrib. I'll pray Maghrib. Then I'll have a small meal, but then I'll have my coffee. Like that is one thing that I really miss. So I've already started to kind of cut back on the caffeine now, but coffee is kind
honestly
of like,
the first sip of water during iftar, you feel that go all the way down to like your digestive system. It's great.
So that, and then just the community aspect of just getting together with people that you've grown up with, and at Al Mahdi or JCC or any mosque there is.
Exactly.
Just to see the camaraderie of everybody. It's just an amazing feeling. So
it's great.
But alhamdulillah, it's going to be a busy month for you guys, and I wish you guys all the best.
Inshallah.
If there's anything that we can do, please let us know. And like Abbas and Mohammad Zahid said, for any donations, charity, you can reach out to the Zahra Trust Foundation, and we'll provide all the links in the captions below as well for you guys.
Perfect.
And please do donate and give back this month. There's a lot of things happening in the world, and we want to give back as much as we can. So do what you can, whether it's $1 or whatever it is. Any amount counts if it's from the heart. And do your best to help out, inshallah. And
just want to reiterate the 2 Ramadan campaigns, the TV fundraisers that are coming up on Heather TV, March 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. and March 31st 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flyers and phone numbers are being provided, are being worked on right now. We will have more information as Ramadan comes closer, but please do tune in during those times. Phone numbers will be available for you to call in. Our volunteers will be taking your donations, and we'll have all the appeals and all the campaigns available for you. So please do tune in on those 2 days. If you can make a mental note before the flyers come out, that would be great. But please do join us during those 2 days.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Esther. Appreciate it. This was great, man.
Good. We'll see you in the next episode.